Hi, this is Princess Ariel, and I am here late night still trying to reach out to my community of trans brothers and sisters, reminding you guys that as old folks, I've been around a lot longer than you have, and even though um, things seem very on the downslide, um, this is nothing new. And that even though a lot of our rights are being taken away, it feels like nobody's listening. But if you scroll back through some of my material, you can hear my stories telling you guys about me getting run off the job at Disney World in Florida at Magic Kingdom in the parades department. And even though I don't look like you, I don't share the same, you know, background as you, I was a young person in my early 30s when I started my transition. So my transition started a little late in life because, when I popped out, I was in a small town, a little dirt road, a little farm town, limited TV, a lot of church. I just try to break it down as simply as I could. So when I showed up as I was, can you imagine what the people in the town were thinking? And so there were a lot of slurs and things going on of the confusing my poor little brain, and it made it difficult to want to exist on the planet starting at about 17 when I wanted to end my life and stuff like that. And it continued all the way up until I was 30 years old. And when I did transition, it was in Florida, of all places. Of course, there was no Ron or governors of that such back then. So you could find a doctor and get your transition started, which is what I did. But of course, trying to transition at work, it was like my boss just really was not having it. And there was just so much friction between us. I got scared and ended up running off the job. And I just want to tell you guys that even though it was a difficult time for me, um, I never gave up on myself. Traveling all into the borders of Yuma, Arizona, down into Algodones to get my prescriptions and stuff. You didn't need a doctor's note when you crossed the border. You could just go in and tell the pharmacy, there's 1,000 pharmacies over there. You just tell them what you want and they just hand it to you at a way cheaper price. So I'm just telling you this just because you can still have your transition. You don't necessarily have to do it here in the United States. You still can take a vacation to Canada. There's no prescription needed if you know what prescriptions you need, and you can still do your surgeries or whatever it is that you want to do. And a lot of times people don't seem to understand that when you're 16, 17, 18 years old, trying to transition is can be very expensive depending on what you get done. It's all up to your individual self and how you see yourself physically, how you see yourself mentally. You're already there because your brain is already in the dysphoria of it all. And you just can't be discouraged no matter what's going on. Nobody has control over your thoughts, your brain, your life, and who you are. And nobody can take that away from you. And you just have to think outside the box these days. If I can't do it here in the United States, where can I go on vacation? Can I drive to the border, and dip over and get into a pharmacy and get the things that I need and get back? Can I do it once a year, twice a year? Is there somebody that I know that lives in the area that can go and get the prescription and bring it back and possibly get it for me? The options are limitless. Limitless. And the one thing you can't do is not give up on yourself, because it's you who is experiencing the dysphoria. And no matter how much people push against that, remember, it's your health care. Get it in your head. This is our health care, no matter what anybody says. And nothing is going to change it. I don't care how many turf people are squabbling out there about they're the blueprint and we have to mimic them and follow them and blah, blah, blah. I have many sisters and aunts and aunties. I didn't have to mimic anybody. I came out as I am, as who I was and who I still am to this day as you see me. And the fact of it, the matter was, before I was barely out of Pampers, the people in that little town was already affirming my identity for me before I could even figure it out, before I even matured. So that should tell you right there, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They had it all wrong. They were trying to put me with the G in the LGBT, and I was the T. And it was very confusing for me because I had 3 older brothers. I was not identifying with those body parts on my body. And I was just very confused about that. And when I finally did later on in life find out about the G and the LGBT, I was like, oh, they love their body parts? Ew. Like, my brain was not hardwired like that. And so it's very complicated. And so there's no one size fits all when it comes to our community in the T's and the LGBT. It's so diverse. And I don't like when I hear people say that they're the blueprint and stuff like that, because if you're angry and mad and bitter and jealous and all of those things, why would I look to you as the blueprint? I would never even want to identify with somebody who's angry and mean and nasty and treats kids like crap and is ready, take their life and stuff like that. I encourage you to reach out to us adults if you need a safe space, someone to talk to, or someone to just a place to hang out where you feel safe. We're here. We love you. And just know that nothing's going to change no matter what the laws are they're throwing out there against the wall and blaming drag queens and all this silly stuff. Meanwhile, we see what the real problems of our country is, and that's, no regulation and limited government, and, it's just the wild, wild west. I mean, just watch any Western, and that tells you everything you need to know why we have so many issues, and that you are loved no matter what, and you can't give up on yourself. Trust me, from somebody who's been through it in my life, being on this side of the fence is so much better, than suffering for as long as I did, 30 years. And I would tell anybody, don't ever give up, no matter how old you are. You could be, a fossil. If you still got air in your lungs, you still can find yourself. And it's your health care, nothing else. It's health care. Mental illness, whatever they want to call it, is still health care. At the end of the day, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to feel bad about. And no matter how many people try to make you feel bad about it, if it's a gabillion people like ants in the ground squabbling against you, you have to know inside your heart that you're making the right choices for yourself and saving your own life, because you are saving your own life. And you have to be selfish and think about what is best for me, because guess what? That's being selfish and thinking about them, So always think about you and what you want, and don't worry about anybody else, because guess what? They ain't worried about. You're not worried about them, so why should they be worried about you? You understand? So remember, Princess Ariel loves you, and your community loves you, and we understand because we've already been through this before, and this is nothing new. So just hang in there, reach out, don't be afraid, keep seeking the best quality of healthcare for yourself. Even if you have to go on vacation and get your things done to make yourself handsome or beautiful or glamorous or mundane or a gamer or whatever it is that you want to look, however you want to look, however you fit on the spectrum, do you. Okay? I love you, and goodbye.